couple. What a problem being James Packer. Wedding bliss to financial worries. Hello, I'm Anna Corrin. Tonight from France, the wedding spectacular and the serious body blow to the Packer empire. James Packer has been here before, on honeymoon after a lavish ceremony, contemplating a $500 million loss, this time from his gambling investment, and a new one, losing his title as Australia's richest man. Not that the newlyweds showed any stress at all, walking down the aisle in front of their superstar guests. Sophie Hull reports.
The coronation of the new Mrs. Packer, the country girl, model and aspiring pop singer, here holding centre court among her new subjects. The King and Queen of La La Land were there. Our own Prince of the Pitch with his reconciled princess watched on from the breeches. Eddie Everywhere lived up to his name. While the power brokers of the business and entertainment world mingled with the Packer society set and Baxter's clan from country New South Wales. The three-day affair might have seemed a little alien, but considering the number of Scientologists in tow, it looked like another day on the beach.
Yeah, definitely. In 2007, it is the biggest wedding in Australia. Now, I'm just going to fill out this invitation.
She should know. As a wedding planner and publicist to the stars, Kim Viverka has been at the centre of some of our biggest.
It's all about the price per head, and those guests are having the most fabulous time of their life. They're having the best of everything. The venue is probably the biggest cost. In France, they say that you can't get married unless you're living in the country, so they went and rented a place a month before in the most beautiful part of the world.
Such is the lavishness of these Packer nuptials, our biggest celebrity weddings of late don't come close when it comes to cost.
Biggest wedding in the last year was probably Nicole Kidman's wedding, and that was, I'm talking like $500,000 upwards in spend. On a local note, Beck and Leighton was a huge wedding in the last year, and, you know, their spend was only $500,000. Around that mark.
She was at the first Packer wedding as a guest. I think she absolutely knows what she's getting into, and I think it was pretty well thought out that, you know, the relationship started, and, you know, she wanted to be married to James Packer, certainly.
Kirsten Galliot, editor of Sydney Morning Herald's Sydney magazine, interviewed Erica 8 weeks before her big day.
One of the things that we were surprised to find out in Sydney magazine was how close they are, and the fact that he does get very involved in her life.
But the subject of Scientology remained off limits.
That's something she doesn't talk about. I mean, obviously we were able to confirm that she has, you know, visited the Church of Scientology. Scientology is part of the wedding, so that's no surprise there. But I think that, you know, anyone who's going to marry James Packer now, Scientology comes as part of the package.
As does his empire. But as the groom blows millions on the big day, that empire back home is showing fault lines. Greg Canavan from independent investment researchers, Fat Profits.
From a shareholder's perspective, looking at the extravagance of a wedding in south of France, you know, it's probably a bit hard to take.
Many PBL investors are reeling today from the news that share prices have taken a nosedive of 10% and lost another 9 cents per share today.
You might be a little bit disappointed, especially considering the share price hasn't performed all that well over the past month or so.
It's been a disastrous month for the Packer family. In just 4 weeks, the family's total worth is down almost $1 billion.
The share price has had a rough couple of months, and that's primarily because of the issues they've had in their casino expansion over in China. There's been development cost blowout, and you know, it's pretty much a symptom of what's happening in a lot of development companies around the world.
Place your bets, ladies and gentlemen. Place your bets.
And the chips are down in his casinos. Shares in his Macau venture plummeting after the Chinese government restricted the numbers of visitors from the mainland entering Macau. And news today, construction costs have blown out by $350 million in his City of Dreams project.
Ever since James took over from Kerry, I think there's always been speculation that there are some issues with the way James has controlled or positioned the company, and I think you're always going to have those concerns around.
Sophie Hull reporting.